In a small, peaceful town surrounded by green hills lived Max, a joyful dog who found his world complete as long as he had Carlos, his beloved owner, by his side. Max had been adopted as a clumsy puppy from a shelter. He still remembered the day he was chosen. Carlos, with a warm smile and a gentle touch, had picked him out from among many other dogs. It was as if fate had brought them together, forging a bond that would change both of their lives. Max grew up in a home filled with love, laughter, and countless adventures. Every morning, as the sun's first rays filtered through the curtains, Max would eagerly await the sound of Carlos's footsteps. It was the highlight of his day. Together, they would set out for their morning walks, exploring the parks, forests, and quiet streets of their town. These walks were more than just exercise. They were a time for Carlos and Max to connect, to enjoy each other's company in the simplicity of nature. On weekends, they would take longer trips to the lake where Carlos would fish. Max loved to jump into the water, chasing the reflections of the sun on the surface. As the day ended, they would sit together by the water, Carlos reading a book while Max lay beside him, content and happy. Hello everyone! Check if you're already subscribed to the channel and if not, go ahead and subscribe and leave a like. As time went on, Max began to notice changes in Carlos. The man who once had boundless energy now seemed tired. Their long walks shortened, and Carlos would often stop to catch his breath, clutching his chest. Max would nuzzle him, sensing something was wrong. The once hearty laughter that filled their home was replaced by bouts of coughing and moments of silence. Max, with his intuitive heart, stayed closer to Carlos, as if trying to absorb his pain. One cold winter morning, Max noticed that Carlos didn't get up for their usual walk. The house was eerily quiet. Max nudged him gently, but Carlos remained still. Panic set in as Max barked and whined, trying to wake him. Eventually, neighbors arrived and took Carlos away in an ambulance, leaving Max alone in the empty house. The days that followed were the hardest of Max's life. The house, once filled with warmth, was now cold and silent. The neighbors took turns caring for Max, but he was inconsolable. He would lie by the door, ears drooping, waiting for Carlos to return. Every sound made him jump up, only to be disappointed when it wasn't his beloved owner. The once lively dog had become a shadow of himself, refusing to eat or play. Max's only solace was curling up in Carlos's bed, surrounded by the lingering scent of his owner. It was the only place where he felt close to Carlos. Nights were the worst. Max would wake up from his dreams expecting to find Carlos beside him, only to be met with the harsh reality of his absence. Amidst this darkness, a young boy named Lucas moved into the house next door. Lucas was only 12 years old but had already experienced his own share of loss. His father had passed away the previous year, leaving him with a void that seemed impossible to fill. Lucas noticed Max lying in the yard, looking lost and alone, and he felt a deep connection. The boy approached slowly, trying not to startle the grieving dog. First, Max ignored him, too wrapped up in his own sorrow. But Lucas was persistent. Every day he would visit Max, bringing treats, toys, and most importantly, his presence. He would sit quietly by the fence, speaking softly to Max, sharing stories of his own pain. Took weeks, but one day Max finally lifted his head and made eye contact with Lucas. It was the first spark of hope. As the days turned into weeks, Lucas and Max started to form a bond. Began with simple walks around the neighborhood. Lucas was patient, allowing Max to set the pace. First, Max was hesitant, walking slowly, his head low. But with each passing day, he began to trust Lucas more. The boy would throw a ball, and eventually Max began to chase it again. It was as if Lucas was helping him rediscover the joy that had been buried deep within. Despite their growing bond, both Max and Lucas faced their own struggles. Lucas had trouble fitting in at his new school, where he was often teased for being the new kid. Max, on the other hand, still had moments where he would freeze, haunted by memories of Carlos. One day, during a walk, Max stopped in front of the park bench where he used to sit with Carlos. He whimpered softly, and Lucas, sensing the dog's pain, sat beside him in silence. To help both of them heal, Lucas came up with an idea. He would take Max to visit a local children's hospital. The presence of the dog brought comfort to the sick children, and seeing their smiles brought a sense of purpose back to Max's life. He became known as the healing dog, and Lucas was proud to see his furry friend bringing joy to others. One day, during a visit to the hospital, Max accidentally hurt his paw. Lucas was devastated, fearing that Max would have to stop his visits. But Max, determined to continue helping the children, pushed through the pain. Lucas took special care of Max, nursing him back to health. This experience deepened their bond, teaching Lucas the value of perseverance. A year after Carlos's passing, the town prepared for its famous spring festival. Lucas decided that it was time for Max to shine again. He trained Max to perform a set of tricks during the festival. On the big night, Max performed flawlessly to the cheers of the crowd. At the end of the performance, Lucas took the microphone and, with tears in his eyes, said, "Max taught me that even after losing someone we love, we can find strength to keep going. Together, we learned that love can bloom again, even in the darkest times." As the festival came to a close, a sudden storm hit the town. Trees fell and streets flooded. In the chaos, Lucas and Max found themselves helping neighbors secure their homes. Max, despite his fear of thunder, stayed by Lucas's side, showing courage he never knew he had. The town came together that night, realizing that sometimes the hardest moments bring out the best in people and dogs. Months passed, and Max continued to serve as a therapy dog, visiting hospitals and nursing homes. Lucas, inspired by their journey, started volunteering more actively. They became local heroes, known for their dedication to helping others. One day, while visiting a hospital, Max met an elderly woman who had lost her beloved dog. She was lonely, and seeing Max brought tears to her eyes. For Lucas, it was a reminder that their journey of healing was far from over. There were still many hearts to touch and lives to brighten. As Max continued to help Lucas and the community, their bond only grew stronger. One day, during one of their hospital visits, Lucas met a firefighter named Sam. Impressed by how Max brought joy to everyone around him, Sam suggested that Lucas and Max join a local animal rescue team. The team was looking for therapy dogs to comfort animals who had been rescued from difficult situations, such as abandoned pets or strays that had been mistreated. Lucas was hesitant at first. Could Max handle the stress of helping other traumatized animals? But Max seemed to sense that this was their next mission. On their first day with the rescue team, Max met a terrified puppy named Bella who had been abandoned. First, Bella growled at everyone who approached her, but when Max sat calmly beside her, she slowly began to relax. Over the next few days, Max stayed by Bella's side, showing her the same patience and kindness that Lucas had shown him. Lucas watched proudly as Max used his newfound sense of purpose to heal others, just as he had been healed himself. As time went on, Lucas and Max continued to touch the lives of those around them. Lucas, now more confident and resilient, decided to become a volunteer at the animal shelter where Max was adopted. He wanted to help other animals find loving homes, just as Max had found a new home with him. Max, who had once been consumed by grief, was now a symbol of hope for everyone who met him. Together, they had proven that even in the darkest moments, there is always a way forward. The town, which had watched them grow and heal, celebrated their journey with a special event at the community garden. Lucas gave a speech thanking everyone for their support, and Max barked happily beside him, a testament to the power of love and second chances. The moral of the story: the expanded journey of Max and Lucas teaches us that healing is a continuous process that takes time, effort, and the support of those around us. True growth comes not from avoiding pain, but from embracing it, facing it head-on, and allowing ourselves to find new paths. Max's transformation from a grieving dog to a beacon of hope, and Lucas's journey from a lost boy to a resilient young man, shows us that love, friendship, and community can heal even the deepest wounds.